to the Evolution Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Decremer from Evergreen Foundations.
And I'm Christina Joy from Chaos to Clarity Lab.
And together we make up the two squirrels that host this podcast. And today I decided, again, we're not going to go with no topics. And we decided, what are the top 10 mistakes that new entrepreneurs make? I'm going to let my amazing co-host, Christina, pick the first one here. What do you think is the number one mistake that all new entrepreneurs make?
Oh, the number one. This is tough. I don't know that I want to say that this is the number one, but the first one that popped into my head is skipping the market research portion. Like a lot of people are really passionate about the thing they start a business about, right? A lot of businesses start from that place of passion. Not all, but a lot do. And when you're putting a product out there or a service or whatever out there that you're like, I know this is going to work. This is going to be great. It's going to change everybody's life. It's friggin' perfect. When you put that thing out there, you know, people have to need it. People have to want it. It has to be something that the market you are putting it out there for actually wants. And when you show up with absolute certainty that this is what this is they're going to want without doing any market research, you haven't actually validated that the offer you have or the thing that you provide is in fact something that the market wants. And I think that's one of the easiest things that you can research before you get involved and just make little tweaks about. So that's what I think a big one is.
And nowadays, I think leveraging AI even and asking AI because they can search everything so fast,
Yeah.
um, different things, and then asking real human beings and getting real human beings' opinion, but have AI look at the market because it can do it so fast and give you tangible numbers, and then go out and ask human beings, hey, would this be something you would spend utmost amount of, I
Well,
like
and
that.
also don't ask your besties and don't ask your family because they're going to tell you they're going to tell you
Yes.
what feels supportive. You have to go find people who don't know you and test it that way. And sometimes that means you got to run some meta ads. Sometimes that means you got to put your offer in front of a bunch of humans you don't know to see if they bite or not. So, so I think that that's important too. Is that you get it in front of people who don't know you.
Yeah. Yeah, because like you said, people who know you are always going to sugarcoat things. They're never
Yeah.
going to tell you the hard truth,
Yeah. Yeah.
unless it's somebody that really cares and is in the business world. I mean, we have people in our lives like Brennan Thompson comes to mind that
Yeah,
will
totally.
not sugarcoat crap. He'll tell you exactly how it is, and you
Mhm.
need to hear that. Um, I think that's a great one. That wasn't something I did a lot of. I was really passionate and was told like, hey, you need to niche down and find your. So like, I found what my niche would be without doing any real like, is this even a thing?
Yeah.
When I first started. So yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah.
A second one, I would say my uh, first addition to this list, and the second one would be attaching to it one strategy and thinking that is your business model or thinking that is your business funnel. Um, I came from a system that taught people how to utilize Instagram as a funnel. So you'd go to Instagram pages, you would comment on those pages, get your name out there. People would like your comments. You like go to their pages, DM them, book discovery calls, and that's the whole business. And for like 6 months, I thought that like was my business model because
Yeah.
that's what we were being taught, right? So I stuck to that strategy like relentlessly. I was on Instagram doing thousands of comments a day. It signed me clients. Actually, in the weirdest way, my first comment led to my first DM, led to my first sales call, led to my first client when I got into being an entrepreneur.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
wow.
like
That's
I
luck.
like lucky as shit, and
Yeah.
everything was like just perfect into that scenario. That never happens again, like ever. So, but yeah, I was like, oh man, this is kind of easy, and I found out the hard way that it's not. And I attached to that strategy for so long, and I would ask like, what is a funnel? Like into the coaching group I was in, and they would be like, oh, well, what you're doing is a funnel. Use that. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I had no business acumen or training at that point. So I thought you just went out and that was what being a business owner was, like dancing in reels and hoping for comments and going out there in the metaverse and pouring into all these things, hoping people would think your comment is amazing and then be your future client. That strategy sucks.
It does. Yeah, it does. And if you're only attached to that one, you don't know any different. And I'm going to take it back to this. It's testing. It's testing the market. You might that is a great way to test one way to bring clients in or customers in, but if you're not doing different things, then how do you know that it's the most effective?
Yep.
You don't. You're just doing the same thing over and over again, which maybe it works. But how do you know it's the best one?
Yep.
You know?
And brand new entrepreneur me, that's what I was doing all the time. I wasn't testing nothing. There was no market research. I was just like throwing it all against the wall, whatever would stick, I would
Yeah.
grab onto. Now, like I'll make the same reel for three different crowds on two different YouTubes and see what happens, and then go to like my main page or my Facebook. I might do one reel that I put in 30 groups and then do a different one that I put in like 30 different groups. And the one that gets more, I'm like, okay, that's the message I roll with for a little while. Or I never did that before. I was
Hmm.
just like 50 messages and let's see what happens.
Yep. Yep. Totally.
All right, what do you got? What would be a
All right.
third thing?
Third thing, and this is one of my favorites. Okay. This is one I bring up with most of my clients, even if they aren't brand new clients. Um, and they're like, oh, it's one of those. Uh, name search. And when I say name search, I mean you came up with this badass name for something, right? You have this whatever evolution podcast, right? We're just going to use that one. Because I did name search this one. And there are other evolution podcasts. And the thing is that a lot of people, when their business and they start putting their branding out, when they start their business, you put a lot of money in your branding. You can put a lot of money in your business. You're printing letterhead, you're putting it on your business cards, you're spending a lot of time on it. You might have paid for the design of it all. And then your customers, your clients, the people who you work with in the community, people are going to know that name. And as they adopt that name over time, imagine if you get a cease and desist letter 2 years later that says, stop using my name, it's copyrighted already. And you go and check or trademarked. You go and check and by God, there it is.
Yeah.
And I actually worked at a company that happened with. And the reality is we had a very short period of time to change all of our branding again. It cost the company thousands of dollars to rebrand and do it fast enough that we wouldn't start to get in trouble for it. Because it was a legit, the wording was off by just a tiny amount. And it was like I mean, it just wasn't enough. And we didn't know that. It's not like we like picked this person's name. It was perfect. It was a perfect name for what we were doing
Yeah.
and in the company, but it's a problem. And so you not only have to search your state, you have to search however your state licenses stuff. So in Florida, it'd be sunbiz.org. You have to search the state to see if there are any active companies, but you also have to search the trademark database, the US oh my gosh, it's not there right now. I hate when I listen words. But you have to search that too. You have to search the patent office is what it is. Um, and if you don't do that, somebody could already have your mark, like whatever your logo is, they might already be using that. Somebody might be using the name of your business, and at any point in time, they can tell you to stop and you have to. So, and then you have to go back and every bit of content, everything you've put out, anything that's out there, you're responsible for pulling it all back in, changing it, and then putting it all back out again.
Ew.
Yeah, I mean, it is gnarly. And so I would say that is one of the most important things when you start your business is just to make sure that whatever your business name is going to be, you're not going to have any of those trademark or copyright or any of that going on. So yeah.
So we're going to change the name of the podcast. We got to do it soon.
I don't know about all that. I don't know, but
um, No, that's a great point. Actually, I wouldn't have thought of that one. That is a great freaking
Hmm.
point because a lot of people spend, man, like I know people who do awesome branding and I know what they charge clients.
Yeah.
Can you imagine doing something that like you gotta change in a year that you just spent freaking so much doing? Oh, yikes. And even
Well,
if you do it yourself, that's a lot of time.
and the other thing is that, there are a lot of business consultants out there who are like, "Oh yeah, that sounds like a great name. Yeah, I'll help you. Let's put." Every consultant who works with a client who's starting a business should be telling them that. Like, that's something that we should, if we are helping somebody start a business legally, that's part of what we need to be doing. Not all of us who are consultants are doing that work, but if we are, that's just as important as registering your business with the state, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a great one. So number, what are we on? 4?
Yes, I'm writing them down.
We're not really like, I know I said earlier, what was your number one, but we're not really like ranking these. We're just talking about 10
No.
things. So I'm going to go there right away. Afraid to be salesy. Everybody is afraid to make sales. I had this in my head where I couldn't make high ticket sales. I hate that term. A lot of people do. But I had it in my head for I couldn't do high ticket sales. But
Yeah.
in low ticket, I can do that all day. Like, I don't care, 20, 30, $40. Like, I can do that all day. And I had like that in my head because I didn't want to be salesy. I didn't want to handle objections. I didn't want to do the typical, like, I was trained in business, especially the coaching industry, in a very scripted, emotionally back and forth kind of 1 hour. You're going to sign a high ticket client and you're going to get it out of them. And I just didn't resonate with that. I never did. I never resonated with like handling objections and talking them into it. And so I went the other route for the longest time. I was just going to like wow them with my personality. So they trusted me and they wanted to buy from me. And that doesn't create sustainability either. So you
No.
need to really be able to come from a heart-centered way, but selling your products. Because if you don't sell, nobody's going to buy. And if they don't know what you're buying, and this is another thing I hated from where I came from, and I won't throw it too much under the bus on the podcast, but like from where I came from, they were telling people, don't tell people you're a coach. Don't tell, like, you're going to basically not say that. Like in DMs, don't say that. Just say, I help or I solve this problem or whatever it may be. Don't tell people what you do. And I was like, wait a minute, that's kind of like, why would you do that? Why would you want somebody like all the way to the point of a call, not really knowing that's why they're there, right? That you're going to sell them something. And I always that didn't resonate with me. So I think a lot of people it doesn't resonate with. And what happens is they go the other direction and they're like, well, I want to be salesy. So they don't sell at all in their content, in their DMs, when they're talking to people, they never get to that point because they're like afraid of it. So
Yeah.
you have to get to that point. People need to know that you're in a service business, that you're selling something, that you have a gift, a product, whatever it may be. And they need to know what they're getting themselves into. You can give free value, but don't give free value without them expecting a sales call. Because the second you get to that, they're creeped out. So that would be my fourth one was
Yeah.
afraid to be salesy.
Afraid to be salesy. And I say that all the time. I mean, like, I hate being salesy. I mean, I'm constantly like, ugh. But there's a difference between there was a post I saw the other day, and it was one of those like, hey, here's I figured out how to do this thing on LinkedIn. If you want the secret, drop a blah 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 and I'll send you the it's like the lead magnet thing. But I saw it in a school community, which is a weird place for that to be dropped, right? And so I was like, like if you have some secret, just tell us if it's for free. Why do you I need to like drop a thing and you're just gonna just tell us, dude? Like that's the salesy stuff that I'm like, I don't like it. Like I just don't like it. And does it mean I don't do it? That doesn't mean yeah, no, I still do it. Like it's still there's still some element of that because people like that stuff, and it is a way to add to your email list or to do whatever. It's a lead magnet, but I still feel ick if I have to do it or if I feel like that's the tone of my message.
I think there's ways. See, trying to get too clever and going, well, I'm not going to be salesy. I'm not going to do sales stuff and I'm going to do it this way. That doesn't really like sell either, though, right? You're
No.
not going to be clever. You're not going to do something different that people have been doing for years and years and years. But
Yeah.
what you can do is I believe that you can go about it on a more real, authentic way where not everybody is just a number. I
Yeah.
attend a lot of lead magnets. I attend a lot of free seminars and things that are people are doing and keeping up with the industry and what tactics people are using, everything, right? So I hate sitting through 45 minutes of figuring out who you are and how you did it and why you did it to get like the
Yeah.
blandest thing at the end, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And then they didn't even really answer you the question anyway. Like,
no, so whatever the
they
reason
basically
you're
just told
there,
you sign up for this and I'll tell you it's like, no, bro, I just watched this whole thing to find that answer out and just
yeah.
listen to you sell me that answer again that you never even gave me.
So I do believe there's a little merit still in give it all away for free, right? Like give value to your audience. I believe there's a little merit there. I think that line has been crossed, and maybe that's one of my numbers I'll come back to. I think that line has been crossed. But I do believe in if I'm going to have you there for a webinar, and then you're going to give me an hour of your time. If you're going to buy or not, you're not going to want to hear about me for 45 minutes. Like
Right.
I'm going to make more conversions on my webinars and my talks if I give you freaking, hey, the reason you came. If I told you the reason you come is I'm going to teach you how to infuse a digital ecosystem with AI into your business, I'm going to teach you that. Am I going
Yeah.
to officially show you how to do it? And is it going to be super complicated to do on your own? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So at the
Just
end of the
hire me to
webinar,
do it.
I'm going to tell you that you should have me do it because I can do it and split the time, right?
Exactly.
And that's how you do it. Like it's, I'll give you the time, I'll give you the information, but the time to implement it, that's what obviously is going to be something that you're going to have to invest in.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
All right, number 5. What do you got?
Number 5, waiting for it to be perfect.
Oh God, yes.
Right? Like, and I am also the poster child for this because I mean, now I'm not so much. Now I'm like, eh. But for the longest time, like the reason I didn't have my website done for the first few years of my consulting business is because I didn't feel right. It didn't feel perfect. I didn't like the way this was worded. I didn't know how to word that. And it was really before like AI could help me with some of the copy. And even still, like I don't want it to sound like AI either. So, you know, it's a
Yeah,
lot of work to put your website together. And I feel like if you once you have your website together, you're pretty close to having your whole business plan done because of the way what you have to put on your website. You have to know your business well enough to
yeah.
know what to even put there. But yeah, I mean, that's just a website, but think about everything else in a business. Oh, I don't like the way that logo looks. I'm not shipping it yet. I don't like the way this is. I'm not shipping it yet. Like the thing with you when you start a business, it is not going to be perfect. Oh wait, I have a cat situation. It is
It happens to me all the time.
perfect. This is Bear. Um, so it's not going to be perfect. You're going to have to iterate. You're going to have to tweak. You might even have to totally pivot at some point. So you may as well put out the unfinished product. You know, you may as well put it out good enough because you need to test it. And here we go back at testing again. You got to
And,
test it.
and man, if you have the resources and this is something you want to take out of your hands and you have the resources as a business owner and entrepreneur, definitely like pay for it and get it taken care of. A lot of newer entrepreneurs are trying to cut costs, not spend a lot at first. They don't have a lot of clients. They don't have a lot of customers. So I see them spending time on all of this when they don't have a big enough audience that's going to care. If you're trying to start something, grassroots, a startup, you need clients, you
Yeah.
need customers.
Yeah.
So the people that originally are going to be those grassroots, especially if you're, I'm just specifically talking online creator, MLM type of stuff, coaches, that kind of aspect. If you're
Mhm.
in that realm, you need clients. You don't need the rest of it because those that care don't care. And you don't have a big enough audience. When
Yeah.
you grow and say you get your first 10 clients, your group coaching, you're growing. Now you're running more ads. That's when font, tone, all of that stuff matters more because your audience is bigger. When you're doing organic and you're trying to start a business and your ad budget is like non-existent, you should not be worried about font and color. You should be
Exactly.
worried about signing people.
Yeah, just get people on board, make it super simple, super easy, because the thing is once you start to introduce brand, then you got to test the brand. And so what if it's your brand that's screwing you up because the colors are weird? I mean, the reality is that just keep it super simple,
Yeah.
keep it super kiss, keep it super simple.
Because in the beginning, the people that care about the message, whatever you have, those
Mhm.
people aren't looking at everything else. You're not attracting a crowd that's going to minutely examine every detail. You're attracting a crowd that needs what you have, and they kind of understand or mildly trust what you have to say, or they're interested in you, right?
Mhm.
So I like right now, for example, like this podcast, I don't spend like hours and hours and hours cutting out each like time we pause or each thing, or I like to really minimal editing. I throw like a beginning and an end on. We have like 25 people, and I love you all that like watch this podcast right now. So are they gonna care that you and I might like it's not completely edited? No. Now, if we get to a point where we go viral and we have 25,000 people, we'll have the budget to make sure that it's professional and produced amazingly. Until then, the fans that we pick up, they're not going to care because they
Well,
like what we talk about.
and to that point, if we reach that point, we don't need to be changing it because we
Yeah,
reached the point because of exactly who we are. And
exactly.
the tweaks will come a little by little, like the thing that just recently happened, Evolution Podcast, you have a new background now, and you have a squirrel with dreadlocks who's me and a squirrel who's a tornado, which is perfect for you. And the reality was a couple months ago, that's not what the Evolution Podcast, not logo, but that's not what it looked like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think organically things just kind of change, things
Yeah.
morph, things move along. And so when you're starting a business, it doesn't have to be perfect because that's what's gonna happen. It's just gonna move along.
Yes.
Yeah. So
And
that was
everything that you think is going to happen and everything that you're holding yourself back from doesn't
yeah.
happen that way anyway, ever.
Yeah, it's some other thing you haven't thought
Yeah.
about. Like that's what's gonna happen. It's some other crazy ass thing that you're like, what? Like that wasn't even on my bingo card at all.
Ooh.
All
Number
right, so it's
six,
yours. Number 6.
and it's my turn.
Mhm.
I had a couple. Information overload. Information that you take in so much, and I did this, and I think it helped me along the way a lot. But I think people take in so much information that they don't take action. I know a lot of entrepreneurs
Uh,
that will do courses and do this, and then they don't really do anything. I know people that have given me the same answer of like where they are or what's next or like where they it's very similar, like years apart. Years
totally.
apart. Like
Totally.
2, 3, 4 years, I'll be talking to somebody and be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And it's like they're in the same spot. It just sounds a little different, but they're
Yeah.
in the same spot. And I'm like, "Wow, you didn't really do anything different. You learned a lot more. You learned a lot more, but you didn't do anything different. Like you're
Yeah.
still here with your project or wherever it may
Yeah.
be." I know several people like that, and
I've been in that. I've
I was
done
just
that to
yeah, I've been
myself.
there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've totally done that to myself.
Yeah. So I think for me, information without action is what I would call that. Taking in so much, trying to learn how to build the next great funnel, trying to learn the next strategies, trying to be the best business owner and have all the books. But then you never went out and said, "Hey, I'm a business owner.
Yeah.
You want to buy what I got?" Like
Yeah.
that 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 part I see tons and did for a while. Maybe I would be farther along if I didn't do this for the first 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's like all the courses, like, oh, well, I still have these 3 courses I bought that I need to finish, and that'll help me be able to start my business better. No, it's not. It's not going to help you start you doing the work, actually doing it and putting it out there and getting your first client. That's how you start a business. Your business starts when someone pays you money. You have not started your business until maybe that should be one. I'm going to make that mine. So
Okay,
maybe
seven. We'll segue right into it.
yeah,
Seven.
okay. So seven is, how do we say that though? Seven would be like, um, I think I just totally squirreled just now. I'm like, wait, what were we talking about?
I did too. Sorry, like
Like,
how you said it was the best way to say it, but then I'm like, wait a minute, how did she say it?
I don't even
Uh,
know what it was about anymore. So, okay, information without action was yours. And I was like, what was I like? What was I?
You're like, that would be the great for the next one. I'm like, yes, segue. That's great. What was it? Oh my god, it'll come back to us.
It may be.
Pick something else for seven. I'm
Okay, so
curious.
number seven, I'm gonna say, let me look at what I wrote down because I've been writing little things here. Um, oh, what is that? Um, I okay, so I'm gonna say this one, although it's basically trying to do it all yourself.
Yeah.
Although I understand that people, when you're building a business, sometimes that's all you got to work with. You just have yourself. But typically, the thing that you're good at or the thing that you want to put out there. So for me, I want to help businesses who are already operating clean up their back end admin, right? That's what I want to do, and their operations, and make them better and more efficient at what they do. So the thing I'm not good at is marketing because it's not back end admin stuff. Marketing is front end, and I'm not good at that front end stuff. That's not where I excel. It's where I really struggle. So, what would be super smart of me is to just hire somebody who's good at what that is to just go do that for me and really dial in on exactly what needs to happen to reach exactly my people. Not test it, which is what I have to do, not throw a bunch of shit out there, but somebody who is really stellar at what they do to just dial in. And they're just as stellar at doing what they do as I am at making sure all their admin stuff is done well on the background, right? Because
Yeah.
that's the stuff that I'm good at. But a lot of people suck at that. And so it's being the island, thinking you have it all, you can do it all yourself, and understanding that, like, if you want to do it all yourself without any outside help, without any of that, then you're really, it's going to take you a long time because you're going to have to learn all these skills, and you're never going to perfect them as much as someone who got a degree in it or has been doing it for 10 years or knows the market better than you do or whatever. So I think it's that. I think it's just that, thinking that you can do it all yourself sustainably.
That's a good one. And yeah, it definitely takes a village, even if the village is collaborations and networking and people you're in
Yeah.
the rooms with talking to about your stuff, right? Like it makes a huge difference because you're not going to be able to see everything. Especially as an emotional entrepreneur, we're always connected to our things
Yeah.
way more than other people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This one, my next one, hey, and if you're watching this, Iris, here's an Easter egg for you if you're watching this. What was our number seven that we forgot? Drop it in the comments, please.
Yeah.
The one that we forgot, drop in the comments for us. Um,
I wonder if we're going to remember it by the end of the podcast
yeah, it's funny.
because I
So
still don't have it. It's like,
it's
oh,
gone. It left me. It's been bugging the ground. So my number eight is going to be something that Brennan Thompson says a lot in our cohort calls, and that your offer isn't the business. Everybody gets tied to like one offer, one thing. Like, this is my business. My business is a weight loss shake. But really, no, your business isn't the weight loss shake. Your business is health and wellness. You're looking for clients that need a health. Maybe it's lowering their H1C, they're becoming pre-diabetic, any of that stuff. Your business is way bigger than just like, hey, I have a shake, or hey, I'm a coach and I do one Zoom session a week. Newsflash: if you're a coach doing that stuff, that doesn't fly anymore. you can't just meet with people. Like you have to have more to your business than just one offer. And I think a lot of people, new entrepreneurs, think, oh, well, this is the one thing that I have to like now go out and sell to everybody. And unless you literally are a person that just has like one product, that's not the way that it works.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really good one. That your business isn't your offer, because sometimes, we get to a point we're offering something. We feel like that's the identity. That's
Yeah.
our identity. And
Yeah.
and the most detrimental part of that is we put that offer out there and people don't respond to it. Then what do you think about your business if you've really adopted that as this is who I am, this is my business, and it failed? The offer failed, dude, not your business. Tweak it a little bit and
And
be willing to.
And I think in the day and age that we're going into, and I mean, obviously both of us have them, um, thinking the community is the business or the YouTube page, the Facebook group, the any of your marketing pages, thinking the LinkedIn page is your business. I think that's a scary train of thought too,
Yeah.
because you put all of your I did this. I did this, excuse me, to detrimental levels kind of to my business. I was able to turn around and great network like we talked about before, but I did this to detrimental levels where I was like, oh, I don't need to go on Facebook anymore, and I don't need to have a YouTube anymore, and I don't need it. So I let it go for like a year, and I created a big audience, did like created things, a big-ish audience on school, did things because I was just talking about school. But what happened was then everything else, what happens if school closes tomorrow, right? So I really had to leave the community first, or community as the business mindset. I had it for a while.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm just now coming out of, because I'm 5 months in. January was when I started my community, like the beginning of January. And so, I'm at that 5 month point where it's like I realize now that the first few months of that, I mean, I stopped marketing in any kind of way. I stopped trying to get referrals from friends. I stopped putting my website out there. I stopped doing all of that because I was like, no, let me build this community, and this community is what is going to be my business. And that was a giant mistake. Giant mistake. I will say it again. It was a giant mistake to think that my school community is my business. And maybe one day it could be like that. And I see that for maybe 1% of all communities. Maybe. Because there are a gajillion communities out there. Maybe 1% of them, that's the only thing that they need. And they don't need anything from the outside. Maybe. But I still don't
And
think
they're
that's
all
true,
thriving off of school though as a
because
business.
they're thriving off of school. But even the biggest school community groups, guess who's out there in meta ads? Guess who's out there on YouTube? Guess who's out there? They are all somewhere else too. And the other thing is that if you put all of those eggs in that one basket and something happens to that basket, what do you do then? You just lost your whole business. Say that for some reason school, God forbid, like goes offline and never comes back on one day. Like, and don't act like that's not possible. Maybe Facebook, maybe any of, don't act like it's not possible. I mean, and I guess I say that post pandemic, right? Because the pandemic, I'm not saying that the pandemic shut down school, shut down, anything in particular. But what I'm saying is something of that magnitude that shut down the world at that level is totally possible. It's totally possible. And so you put all your eggs in that one basket, like, I don't know. Like, I just think that that's problematic. Or wait, this just became another one.
Hey, I'm
Or,
okay with that too.
well, actually, we might have done this already. Information. No, thinking you can do it all yourself. Your business isn't your offer. So, yeah, I mean, we're kind of naming another one.
eggs in all in one basket. Yeah. And I mean, mine, the next one I was going to say anyway was a lot of people who start businesses and start entrepreneurship, especially this new place online. It happened to me, not new place, but there's promises all the time, right? Like people are
Mhm.
promised changing their life. And a lot of people that start businesses want to change their life. They want to get out of the 9 to 5. They want more income. They want more control of their life. They want control of their schedule. There's a lot of like promises. And the thing is then people get busy and they're not building their business. So they want
Right.
to make all this money and they get really busy. Like they're spending all day on Facebook, but they're not really like building a business. They're just being busy. They're doing reels all day long, all day long, all day long. But where are your back end systems? What is that reel supposed to do? What is the next step of your funnel?
Well, and this goes right back to thinking you can do it all yourself.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to happen. If you're not a marketing person typically, but you're
Yeah.
out there marketing, you're going to spend all your time doing that because it takes you that long to do it even kind of decently.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to keep doing that until you perfect that. And then you have to go to the next thing in your business and do that thing. And you haven't even done your business yet. Like you haven't even done what the business is yet.
No. And I've seen it. I did this and seen this a lot. Coming up with a lot of coaches, is they think like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok is their storefront, and if their store's not open unless they're producing content. But what they do is they publish content and they sit and wait, and they like wait for people to like it and comment. And they're like, well, the reel didn't do anything today. The content, long form content, didn't do anything today. So I guess I'll try again tomorrow. And there's no real like continuity to that system. You're
No.
waiting and waiting and waiting for something to happen. And like what you need social media marketing, online marketing to be is something that's performing while you're sleeping, not something you're waiting for. That's like an offshoot. That's something that you put out, do your content, and then when that makes traction, awesome. But that's not your only thing. You can't just sit there and wait for your organic content to do anything. And I think we gave 11 or 12 things here, but I'm okay with it because we forgot the other one anyway.
Well, and I mean, I still have another huge one.
And
But to your point, like I just want to go even further on this. Like say you have a big Facebook following, right? And you are getting paid by Facebook. Your Meta's paying you. I have seen this time and time again, especially because I have a lot of friends who live in buses or vans, they're nomads, and they have a giant following. So I know a lot of like influencer level people who have a lot of followers and they rely on on that. And I've seen, I mean, I got one right now in my head that just happened last week, another one actually on another platform. But the point is that some stupid thing happened on her Facebook where they ended up penalizing her for something. It was like an automatic penalty, right? She ended up they basically dropped her off of viewership completely and she went like a whole month not making any money and she spent that whole time like arguing with
happens a
Facebook
lot.
about it and eventually she was able to get her community back to or not community but her page whatever she was able to get it like basically Facebook was like, "Oh, sorry, we screwed up. Sorry about that." And she was like, "Okay, well, what are you going to do for me now? Because I have a whole month that you totally screwed up my views. I lost followers. I had all of this stuff happen." And they were like, "Nothing. That's just what you get. And that's just how it is." I have friends
This
who
happened to a lot of big
had
creators a couple weeks ago.
I had friends who had whole pages, like Instagram pages, and were getting paid through that. And like completely lost access to their page because somebody hacked it and never got it back. Like boom, just like that, their whole business is gone. Like so again, it just goes to show you can't put all your eggs in that one basket.
No.
Um, and I'm gonna segue right into the next one. Another thing that I think is so vitally important, start tracking stuff right away. you know.
Oh,
And when I say start tracking stuff, you keep your damn receipts. You put those you save them to some folder on your computer. You save your receipts somewhere. You save, everything that you're doing when you start your business and you're testing stuff and you're checking things out. Hold on to that information because when you file taxes next year, you're going to wish that you had all of those little $10 receipts or those $5 receipts or whatever. So save
There's
them.
apps for that too. I love these
Yeah.
days. You can just take a freaking picture of it.
Just take a picture and have a little folder on your phone that you put pictures in and put your receipts in that folder. Like it's so easy to set that up just on your phone. You don't even need an app for it. And so there's that. There's just so many other things that you should be tracking. If you are on, fortunately, like if you do rely on Meta, you can always go back and like look at your Meta stats. So luckily Facebook kind of gives you that, or a lot of these platforms kind of give you that. But you have to keep track of what's actually working and what's not. You have to keep track of what's actually like I got not only did I book 4 calls, but 2 of those 4 resulted in them hiring me on that call, which means that whatever that ad was or whatever that thing that you did to get those 4 calls, you need to remember what that was, what that sounded like, what the tone was, what the photo was, if it was a Facebook thing or something, a post. So, all of that stuff, tracking all of that stuff is super important right from the get, somehow, even if it's in a notebook.
This is something I struggle with currently, like as a business owner. I suck at like there's times where I could vitalize or utilize like Alicia helps me a lot, right? Like in school and all this stuff. We go to dinner or something once a week. Why am I not like saving receipts? Why am I not saving receipts when I drive somewhere and I'm doing a consultation? I don't ever. I forget. I forget. I forget. And I'm like for gas and mileage, and I'm just like, this is something that I almost need like sticky notes that I've struggled
Oh,
with. I'm getting better at. I'm doing it for a few years now, but like in the beginning, I wasn't tracking shit. Like I
yeah.
was terrible at this.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I was just doing taxes the other day. And you know, what ended up being is the amount of taxes that I owe was like $4,000 less than what it would have been um if I didn't have the receipts to back up what my write-offs were. And I never would have thought I even had enough for that. Like I wasn't even like I
Yeah.
just didn't even think I had that much. And you don't realize how quick a lot of things add up and like what all. So first you should know what to track and then track the damn thing. Find a way to do it. And if you don't know how to do it, you find somebody who knows how to do that and who can help you do it, and can help you get it set up because there are so many free ways to track things out there. And and I mean, it'll save you money in the long run.
This could be one of your things. This could be one of your things.
Yeah.
Like build a little how to start a business tracker. The things that you need to know, the things you need to track. We're not going to talk. Yeah, you know what I mean. You know what route
Yeah.
I'm going with that. This could be
Yeah,
one of your
totally.
things. Because honestly, man, I came into business not as a business owner. I did not know what I was doing. I didn't know there was things I lucked out. I had a lot of mentors that took me under their wing, and a lot of people who had years of business experience that gave me like a crash course, and I
Yeah.
learned a lot of things. But there was things I didn't even know was possible, things I
Yeah.
didn't know I could do, things I
Yeah.
didn't know I should be saving. Like so many things that I would have never learned, I would have never known. And I think like a triage checklist, like, hey, make sure you're tracking these things, saving these things, and at the end of the year doing these things. Because I never knew. And I made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. Well, and it's so typical because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. You're not going to know until you learn, and it's probably better to not learn it the hard way. Unless you're someone like me who I demand learning it the hard way about half the time, unfortunately. I'm like, "Oh no, yeah, that happened to you. I bet it'll be different for me." Um, but that's just some of us have, have that tendency to do, and I want to know. I'm like, how bad can it be? Maybe I can do it a little better. But
But those
you
eight
know,
other guys fell into the hole. I mean, I gotta fall in too just to see if I can take it.
yeah,
I'm that guy
let me
too.
hang out in that hole for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a reason. Eight of them did it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, maybe they're still in there. We can hang out.
yeah, that's me.
Oh,
Well, I think this was fun. We should do top 10 random, top
I
10
love it.
impromptu lists again. This was
Yeah.
cool. Um, If you are looking for to go deeper into business building, into really getting more clarity on what it means to be an entrepreneur, contact Christina. She's amazing. She's one of the best consultants I know, and hit up the Chaos Clarity Lab on School.
Yeah.
Today's sponsor was the Chaos Clarity Lab. I didn't tell you that.
Oh, hey.
And as always, it's been super fun. Us two squirrels. Remember, in the comments, what did we forget? It's driving me nuts. Drop in the comments. This has been the Evolution Podcast. I'm Brandon Decremer from Evergreen Foundations.
And I'm Christina Joy from Chaos, the Clarity Lab.
Hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time.